I have a question for the church, because you are a great responsibility in this matter. So I think that the church needs to lead this question, especially with children, to, in some sense, in a special way against to the new form of slaves that we have, prostitution or forced labor or traffic of organs or these kind of things, just to say that it is completely contrary with all the problems that we have in the history recently in the church. What is your idea? I think that church need to lead, but I don't think that many bishops of bishop conference understand this question or are completely convinced about this.
I'm not sure whether I understood well. So they are not convinced to lead in our topic here, right? Okay, I believe that too. I have seen it in many countries that not only bishops' conferences, but bishops and in parishes, there was much of, I mean, when it comes to the Catholic community, there was much of some sort of paralysis, some sort of extreme tiredness and lack of creativity. There were very good, shining examples of what you could do, how you could reach out to people, but I didn't see much commitment to in this period of time. And there was much giving in to governments telling there won't be services, there won't be any possibilities for coming together, even outside, for any meaningful meetings and coming together in a personal and in a spiritual way. So I agree that there was some sense of lack of energy and lack of sensitivity for what could have been done. And some did it, but there was not much of passing on best practices from one parish to another, from one diocese to another.
No, please. Only one, because we have only 3 minutes. Please, Melissa, maybe. We have the general discussion after.
I think what you're talking about is the need for a bottom-up approach. And the church is very familiar with a top-down approach. So that requires bringing in local resource people and learning from them about how to handle some of these issues. Finished.
Father Zollner, thank you so much for your reflection. I believe that human societies are deeply religious. Religiosity, we've learned from the work of the Pontifical Academy of Sciences, is very ancient, maybe 3 million years old. In the increasingly secularized nation state, the religiosity, and what you more broadly refer to as spirituality, often there is a vacuum, and it is the case that immigrant communities, refugee communities, have deep need for a phenomenology that includes a religious sensibility. In the United States, the immigrants build the church, and the church build the citizens as immigrants. Can you talk about this paradox of the issue of religiosity in an increasingly secular world, and the enormous vacuum this has created in the human spirit?
30 seconds.
So this is for the next conference here, right? No, I mean, I think this has much to do with how we care for other people, how we see the dignity. And as we see, I personally believe it now, this is really the one sentence I want to make. We are at the brink of a different kind of consciousness in humanity. And this means also a complete renewal of our understanding of life, of community, of relationships, of values. I believe we are, the developments over the last 2 years have accelerated that. But I believe we are at, in religions, in governments, we are at a different point of understanding, which has not come about, and it is only by crisis that this is coming about. And this is how I read all this, what has happened over the last 2 years, and what is going on in young people, who, by the way, may be more resilient than we think. But my point is, where is religion? You call it religiosity, and there's a discussion in psychology of religion between spirituality and religiosity. Religiosity is disappearing in many parts of the world, spirituality not. So how are institutionalized religions capable of coming into that spiritual thirst that is there in different ways than before? So for the next conference.
Thank you very much. But anyway.